What's up everybody, it's Keone here, and today I wanted to show you how I made this dope sky replacement in Final Cut Pro. Check it out. Alright, so now you've seen it, let's get right into it. Just a heads up guys, if you don't have any footage, you can use mine. I've put the link in the description to download the file that I'm using so you can follow along. But if you are going to shoot your own footage, it is a good idea to have a tripod. And another thing is that the sky should be mostly, for the most part, the same color. As you can see right here, my clip is for the most part white, so if you have blue and white, that might be a little bit more harder whenever you bring it into the editing portion. It might make it a little bit more harder, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. And then as far as the tripod goes, it's a good idea to have a tripod, or it's a good idea to have a stationary subject, because you will be masking, and if you don't know how to use keyframes, then there's a good chance that it might be a little bit more difficult to follow along. So with that being said, tripod, and if you can have a clear sky, that would be best. So let's get into Final Cut Pro right now. I've imported the footage already and I've placed it in my timeline. As you can see, this footage is pretty flat. I shot it in Cine 4. Alright, so the first thing that you want to do is copy and paste this clip and put the first layer that you copied on top of the other one. So I did Command C for copy and Command V for paste. And as you can see, I just placed it right on top like so. So the top layer is going to be my mask layer, meaning I am going to mask out along the mountain range and to the bottom of the clip. So we'll go into our masks, draw mask, drag that right on top to your top clip. And what you want to focus on is not the edges, but you want to go like maybe like along the edges, but not all the way there. So what I'm saying is just go like this. Try to keep the distance as equal as you can throughout the whole mask. That just makes things a lot easier later. And like I said before, it is easier if you have a stationary subject. So me, I'm the subject, and the mountain range, I'm not moving really that much, so I don't really have to worry about moving this mask. Now if I was moving, say if I was moving from here to here, then I would end up having to mask myself out every frame, walking across the clip. So just keep that in mind whenever you're shooting, and if you're shooting. It should still look the same, but now we are going to add a Luma key to the bottom layer. So we're going to go into King, Luma key, add that, and the top half should be a little bit darker. That is okay. Now we're going to want to, alright, so switch this knob to the left so that it looks normal again. And at this point we are going to be using keyframes. Okay, so now the point of this keyframe is to make the transition from the normal sky to the new dope replacement sky. So it's this part right here, as you can, so it's this part right here. So we are going to make sure you have this highlighted, press this right here. Now the whole idea of this Luma key is to black out your entire sky, okay? So we're gonna come over here to whenever we want the sky to be filled in with our new sky, and I'll just say right there is fine, and I will try my best to just black out the whole sky. Now you will probably need to increase your Luma roll off, and alright, so that's looking good. Alright, so it's a little, it's going over the water a little bit, maybe a little bit on the mountains as well, but we can fix that. Now the mask, as you can see, the mask is what is making this portion, or this portion of the clip still visible, because if we didn't have the mask, then this is what it would look, that's what it would look like. So that's why we have the mask in the first place. Now that we have that, we are going to increase the feather, which makes it really feathery. and I just increase it. I just drag it all the way up to 800, and then I probably want to shrink this down just for a little bit. Oops. So basically what I'm doing is I'm not going for like a solid cut along the mountains. I'm kind of going for like a gradient, more feathered in look like this. You can kind of see how the sky is kind of blending in with the real sky that we shot in, and I think that just looks a little bit more cooler. So alright, so once you got that, you want to go to Unsplash and type in Galaxy Sky or something like that. Pick whatever one you want, and I've already picked mine right here, and drag that into the timeline and drag that right under both of those clips, and as you can see, it's starting to come together. I'm going to increase the scale a little bit. Alright, so this is what it looks like so far. Okay, so we have some work to do around this area, so we will come back to the mask and we will try to fix and make it look a little bit more natural. I'll increase the feather. Honestly, to edit these clips, all you have to do is just go back and forth and just experiment with the different effects. You know, whatever looks good. It doesn't really matter what you do or how you do it. It just matters what the final product is. So if you can get it to look good, then it's all that matters. Alright, so the sky is a little darker than the clip. So if I put a LUT over it, then obviously it's going to look a little out of place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the exposure just a little bit, just so it's a little bit more flat looking. See with the whites. Now that should be good. Alright, so this is pretty much the base of this effect. Honestly, if you really wanted to, you can just stop right here and maybe color grade it a little bit more, but this is pretty much it. But I've decided to go a little bit more into making it look a tiny bit more realistic, and here is how I do that. I also add a movement to the stars so that it looks like it's moving, you know. So what I'll do is I'll add some more keyframes. I'll start it from the beginning of the clip. I will keyframe the scale and the rotation, and these just in case, and I will go all the way to the end of the clip, and I will make it rotate by itself. Okay, there we go. So it should look a little bit more cool now. Alright, so we got the sky looking a little bit better, and we also need to add a generator. Now what this is going to do is I'm basically going to sort of composite the footage with the stars. I want to make the colors match a little bit more. So I'm going to take that generator that you saw there, and I'm going to pick the color to be any color in here, maybe a darker one, that's fine, and I will place it over the footage. Should look something like this, and I will add a graduated mask right over that. Switch that around. Now whenever you go outside and it's like a gray sky, usually the lighting will be gray, or if it's like a sunset, maybe then it'll be more of a warmish tint on the ground. So in this case it's more of a purple, violet, blue type vibe, so I'm trying to mimic that with this custom generator. Okay, and by doing that I will add the graduated mask, just adjust it so you can barely see it coming out the bottom, and I will adjust the blending mode that is in Final Cut, which is right here, and I'm just gonna see what looks good. Okay, so honestly that looks fine with me. And also whenever you're looking at the night sky, usually it's not bright like it is in this clip. So what I will do is I will make the exposure go down just a tiny bit. Alright, so I think we are pretty much there, so I'm just gonna add a color grade to see how it's looking if it is color graded. Alright, so yep, that is looking pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. Alright, so actually I can see we have some stuff right here, so I'm gonna go back and bring that up just a tiny bit. That's pretty much the effect right there, but in this particular video that I did, I actually put some more keyframes to zoom in and zoom out and rotate at the same time, so I'll just do that for this one too. So I'm gonna put that in a new compound clip so that I can just keyframe it all at the same time and I don't have to do it all individually. Scale and rotation, check that. And let's do 3. Okay, so it should look like this now. So this is your finished product. Now, this is as far as I've gotten with this edit. If you want to add more stuff, be my guest. If you want to add a shooting star or something like that, go free. But yeah, this is pretty much it. Alright guys, so now you know how to edit a dope sky replacement, and if you make these videos, definitely share them with me. I would love seeing them. But with that being said, that pretty much wraps up this video. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.